Hello guys, and welcome to another video on the JAT15 channel. And in today's video, this is going to be a concise video about both the community and the state of the game as it is in its current state. And I've got a very small, not well-known Blitz YouTuber with me today.
Hello, hello. My name is
Who's
W. What's up,
all
man?
right. This, yeah, you good?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty good. How about you? I'm glad to be here. It's the state of the game is it's pretty dire right now. I'm just gonna put it right out there, but I think it's important we talk about it and come up with whatever suggestions we might have. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, let's just hit it right off with update 7.4. And as you said perfectly in your video right now, Wargaming is in full damage control mode. They obviously saw player numbers were declining and they realized, oh shit, we actually have to take some action. So they fixed the login bug and introduced the commander rework. Now, the commander rework is very good, and it's not perfect yet, but it's what we asked for. And it not being perfect with like only having like certain like different ships that work with each of the skills, like you pick the exact same skills for every ship, that just it's highlights them that they don't actually play the games
Oh
themselves.
my God,
And we've seen
yes.
that with other stuff.
It's very very brightly highlighted that Wargaming have come up with an idea that we need to give them late game players some variety. So we're gonna make this skill tree and you can grind it. You're absolutely right. They don't play the game because the grind is you can't have a job, you can't have family, you can't have hobbies. You need to be playing 24/7 if you want to just grind it free to play. And then again, when you say that, yeah, there's just one tree, the green tree. It's just middle, middle, middle. Every ship benefits from that.
Yeah.
So where they
And
did really do good stuff, right? They didn't fix anything. They just created more problems again.
yeah, and then both that and the login bug also came far too late. I mean, how can your players actually engage with your game if they can't even log in? And the login bug should have been the top priority from the moment it really surfaced, but instead it dragged on for months and it frustrated everyone. And yeah, it's a familiar pattern with wargaming, much like the Tara bug, which persisted for
Hmm.
years before they finally fixed it.
I mean, it's
Yeah, and,
it's when you compare wargaming, it's a mobile game, right? Fair enough. Mobile games 5 years ago weren't that serious. People didn't take them as serious. But it's now 2024, and you have War Thunder mobile, you have League of Legends mobile, COD mobile. The list goes on. Wargaming has a PC game studio, a brother, was a parent company, I should say maybe, and then Blitz is a subsidiary, right? I know they get
yeah,
funding. It just seems like they put on all of their funding, all of their budget into creating copy paste ships, and they've done that for what 4 years now. And to me, that's why I don't think the community can take their BS anymore. And now, like you said, damage control. What the fuck do they do? They
yeah.
have no experience in how to actually fix the game. It's just
I would have loved to be able to see, like they do it for PC, but they don't do it for Blitz. But I'd love to see the player number chart
yeah, me
because
too.
I'm 100% sure over the past couple of years it's just been gradually and gradually dropping.
I remember
And I mean,
Pigmay did a
you
video,
go,
right? Pigmay did a video where he guessed that around 10K players, and I think that's like 1.5, 2 years ago now. I think that's dropped to at least 5K. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? It seems to me that it's not that many.
Yeah, well, I can just clearly see the more and more. Like back when I first started in, uh, was it? Oh God, that's 5 years ago from now. Let's say that's 2019. Um, like literally every game, even at like tier 4, you would have all like a full no bots. But now you can't even play tier 10 without having like 4 or 5 of them.
It's pretty like easy to see, at least for me as well. I'm on the EU server. It's completely dead at every tier, And it for somebody like I make content, right? And I used to have this rule: no more than 3 bots. I've abolished that rule. It doesn't make sense anymore. There's always bots. So
You can't.
yeah, you can't avoid them.
I mean,
It's
I was actually recording the other day, and the best that I had was a full bot game. Like,
yeah. What can you do? I mean, and if you're an actually serious player who enjoys the tactical aspect of the game, you don't enjoy playing versus bots, especially not after 5 years of playing the game.
yeah, and with all the like, they're being very slow about all the stuff. Like the limited compensation, especially around the login bug, was just really unacceptable because people weren't able to grind the game for ages. Like
Yeah,
how much time they would have lost. And a lot of people, this is their main game.
if you think about it, like if you had a Netflix subscription, let's say you're playing, paying for premium time, like you would definitely get your money back, guaranteed. The service would be there like automatically. Okay, this guy, if you tell them I have not been able to log in, send a screenshot, boom, it will be there. But wargaming, you don't have any way of getting your money back. That there's no guarantee because it's just a completely black market for that. It seems like that. And again, there's no communication from wargaming. I think that's one of the main problems why people have a hard time trusting them and taking them serious is they don't communicate. I mean, they can't even write their bundle prompts correctly. They say it's CV instead of battleship on a not Montana bundle, Ohio bundle that they would never make, by the way. Tier 10s and bundles, wow, not a thing.
Yeah, just the amount of oversights, and like we get like that the Blitz team is obviously a lot smaller than the other games, and with the bugs and stuff, they can't test every possible scenario. But making players wait months on end for bug fixes is just it's just so unacceptable.
I mean, I'm pretty
And
sure.
I mean,
Oh yeah, sorry.
you go,
No, no, no. You go.
there
You
you
go.
go.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I was just
sure
gonna.
that. Okay, you go.
I was just gonna say with the introduction of super ships is one of their latest blunders. I mean, their matchmaking was broken.
Hmm.
Players that bought uses, some people that bought uses pre to the actual event starting, then didn't get the uses at all. Not only that, but one of my friends who actually lost his uses and he spent so much on it. The support team refused to compensate him, and even he had screenshots of him purchasing it. He had evidence, solid evidence, and the only response from Wargaming through the support was that the compensation for 7.4 was in case of any problems with the super ship launch.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
Like,
Again.
how, how is millions of silver and thousands of ship XP equal to a ping high Wargaming? That's just ridiculous.
It's they're so out of touch, and I can't talk about what goes on, what I see as a CC, but I can say that the only person in wargaming that I know listens to us is the CC. But after that, I don't know what they do with that information because as a CC, right? You're trying your best to improve the game, and there's some really really good guys in there. I mean, really doing their best. And they've been doing that for years, right? The community, that's why we have CCs, but they don't listen to it.
Yeah, to bridge the gap.
Yeah, they just don't care.
That's the whole point.
They don't give a shit. We've been saying we want bundles for years. I mean, yeah, it's stupid. It feels like a futile effort every time we try to say something. And I must say, every time something good happens, I get this naive feeling where I'm like, okay, they're gonna do better now. But we all know deep down.
No.
Yeah, no.
Every time they do something good,
Hmm.
two more things break normally.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the
And I mean with
endless
this
cycle.
I mean with the super ships too, there was like so much hype around them. And I mean they're very cool and all, but it's really just not what the game needs right now. Like with so many core issues just remaining unresolved, this
Mhm.
update should have just been entirely on fixes. Like us players wouldn't not at all mind a delay in new content if it meant the game was more stable and polished.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like a whole year, that all of 2025, if they made it for fixing the game and improving gameplay, and maybe just release like 1 or 2 tech lines, right? Perfect. but I just don't think they can go away from making money. Like I don't know. It's it's hard to be a Blitz player right now. And I remember making that video where I said it was going to get better. And I sincerely thought it was, but it's just like wargaming. When is that going to be? Is that 2030 or is that in the foreseeable future?
And guess what? I did the exact same thing about this time. Oh, I think it was either last year or the year before. I actually made a video around like the 6.34 updates, and I was like, this game's looking like it's finally going in the right direction, but
Yeah, and it
and
doesn't.
then and then a couple of months later, it's just failing us again.
I think if they need to correct what they have done with this commander update, right? And they should have done this by now. At least what is it now? 2 months ago, something like that. One or 2 months. They should have come out
Yeah,
with a
something
hot
like that.
fix where they fix the XP, rewards where you either tone it down how much you have to get or just give us more, whatever, fix it. And they should have changed the commander system. We have given them tons of, ideas. They had it, but they just haven't done it. So people are already like, okay, the commander stuff, boring, blah. I mean, I haven't even made my battleship video because people already know what the best stuff is for BBs, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Um,
just,
and with all these problems with the game, something that I really don't understand is that um, why are the community managers changing at such a crucial moment in time? Like Valk was one of the few who was actually genuinely committed to making things better, and now he's gone. I mean, the aforementioned super ship blunder, Valk had to directly compensate this previous friend I mentioned because support was doing nothing. And it honestly feels like Valk was too good at his job and that's why he was removed.
I mean,
Like at a time when the game needed real leadership and communication, it's just baffling that someone who was actually working to prove things was swapped out. And I get like they obviously have to change it out every now and then, but it's just not the right time now.
Valk did too much for this game, like for him to, you know, not be here, right? It feels so not Blitz right now. It was just, for me at least, like he was there for all of my CC time, and you're right, he did so much. So yeah, you're right. It feels like the worst time, but at the same time, I will say this: Maddie seems very engaged in it, like she wants to, just like
Yeah.
Valk. But you're right. You also have to get into the ropes, understand the community. It's a hard time for her as well. So I don't understand Wargaming's philosophy behind, only having one, actually, not having more. Maybe one that interacts with the public community server, right? Maybe a team of two or something, so people can get questions answered right at this, at the second what's it called? Ask them. I can't speak. My bad. And instead of having one for us, the guys that get the feedback from the CCs and the super testers have two or three. It's so much work for one person. It's it's insane, actually. We asked them for every time I have to do a giveaway. It's through the community manager. So that was Valk. He did all the giveaways. So for me, Sly, Pickbay, Terry, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's draining work.
I mean, and it was always he was always someone that was always really connected. Like whenever I had to talk about it to him about something, he was always very approachable, and he had the ability to talk with such a range of different people. He
Yeah,
had that skill.
he was incredibly
Yeah,
good
he will be missed.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. He was incredibly good at dealing with every type of person in the Blitz community. Yeah, really masterful socialite. Yeah. Anyways,
And then, all right, next thing, let's talk about the events at the moment.
oh God. Well, you start out. I haven't played him.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it's probably the most frustrating thing for me, especially since the first like 2 and a bit years of this game, I was completely free to play. And outside from mission crates in the shipyard, events were really the only way to get premium ships. And to be honest, the events were awful, and they still are awful. There's only a couple exceptions I can say where they've been good events. And I understand why they don't want to like hand out premiums for free, but making it virtually impossible unless you play hundreds of games is just ridiculous.
I mean, it's always been like that. Like you say, there's a couple you can remember because they gave you something when you worked for it. I have never been a free to play player, so I always purchased those, remaining few tokens or whatever you needed to get that premium, and it was always super expensive. For both your point of view as a free to play player and from the whale perspective, I guess, wargaming is not treating anyone nicely because they have gambling crates only, and you can get really lucky, you could get really unlucky. They don't have bundles. They don't have a, let's say you're a newer player, right? And you, instead of having to buy something for money, you can make crazy challenges, right? Destroy 500 cruisers and you get this tier 7 premium. They have none of that stuff. There's nothing to grind and progress. You can pay to progress, right? Sure. That's what they really do in Blitz, pay to progress. But there's nothing for the free-to-play player, and that's gonna get eventually that kills a game, right?
Yes, they need to they need to find the balance. There's a balance. You need to have something that free-to-play players can get, and we don't care as free-to-play players that if it's some overpowered premium. Like I'd be happy to grind 100 games just for some tier 7 premium, even if it's not the strongest tier 7 premium. Like one of the first event I actually grinded was the one where you could get Issei, and Issei's nowhere near a strong ship, but I grinded it because with 100 wins, I could get the ship for free.
And
And
that's the type of
I
stuff
mean,
they gotta do. I mean that's good stuff.
yeah, and I mean, probably one of the ones I remember the most was the Helena Personal Challenge event,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I actually at that point I hadn't played the game in a month, and that actually event actually pulled me back into the game.
Hmm.
And if the events are grindable, players like me are likely to buy premium time or even get ships to help with the grind. Like at that time, I was also on the fence to getting the Blitz Plus to get Atlantico,
Hmm.
but the thought of another ship used for personal challenges pushed me over the edge, and they ended up spending money on the game. And wargaming should have to, like they have to realize that if you create good events, we will spend more money on your game. It's as simple as that. And yeah, I'm fine with the higher tier rewards being locked behind paywalls for the whales or players who don't have time to grind, but at least give us free to play players the chance to earn something meaningful.
Yeah.
Like you help us with fair grindable events, and we'll support the game by spending money.
It's it's what every other successful free to play game does. And it's why it's so kind of weird how this game is still going, right? Because they have not been doing any of that for all this time the game has been alive. It's just every free to play game I've played where if there's a tech tree, let's take War Thunder and Enlisted for example. People can probably relate to those games. They know they have a tech tree. You can grind it out if you want to, and at no point are you really behind. Everything you buy is a quirky gimmick or looks cool or whatever. And in the end,
Yeah.
it's balanced. Blitz is also like that, but everything new that comes out is locked behind a crate. And if it does come out for free, you get a pre-release of a tech line, and then 2 or 3 3 months later, you get the ship out. People have already forgotten about the bungo. Has it even come out yet? I think it's come out now, right? But
I literally haven't even paid attention to
exact
be
same,
honest.
bro. Same. You see what I mean?
Because they bungoed the bungo of it.
They bug, they bug out the bug. Exactly, they did, and it's just the hype dies instantly. There's no incentive to play either. A lot of gaming,
Yeah.
at least for me, is having a goal. So my goal is to do this and this and that. Literally, the only goals you can get doing Blitz is I can get this rank or get this ship or whatever. It's very hard to stay engaged with Blitz once you have reached. You're once you're satisfied with your ship collection, I guess. And you're never, I
Yeah.
guess you're never really satisfied, but also you think realistically, what do I have time and money to get?
Yeah, and that's the whole aspect with these events, the time. Like for us, they've got to consider the time. They've got to give people that are busy an option to just spend and get the rewards instantly. they've got to give the people that free to play and have to grind like 100 games. But if we have to play 100 games, we should be able to get like in a reward tree. We should be able to get completely to the end of one line
Yeah,
at least.
because if you think about it,
And you also need to support the people that just want to get something guaranteed instantly. Like we need like with all the events, we need like a definite special offer bundle that you can get, and then obviously they need crates for the people that want to whale and get some higher tier rewards.
they want to be really smart and just make some extra money off the side. Put old tier 10 and tier 8 and tier 9 premiums, sorry, every premium in bundles. And then once a year, like many other games do, I'm not going to name the game, put everything at 50% off and you're going to make shit tons of money. And the people that, feel like, oh, I'm behind because of power creep, I don't have the newest stuff, they have a chance to spend money in your game and feel powerful. It's an easy win for everybody.
Yeah, one last thing I want to mention is probably another one of the most memorable events was the Black Congo event, which it stands out as, well, personally my favorite event that's ever been in this game.
I
But that
don't.
event only happened because Wargaming messed up the pricing of the rewards, making it easier to attend the
When was this?
easier to attain the rewards. It was Black Congo. What else was it? Oh, I can't remember. It was like 3 years ago now. It was a great event, and but yeah, these events should be the standard and not the exception.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Right? Let's move on.
yeah, let's move
You
on.
go. No,
Let's
you
move
go.
on. No. I totally agree.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Next thing. Let's talk about the copy because you mentioned briefly earlier. Let's talk about the copy paste ships.
Oh God, yes,
I mean,
yes.
we've had. Oh wow! I just realized something. I'm going to be butchering these names.
Well,
The
dude,
Mayo.
me too. Mayo, that's perfect. I think that's how you say it. But like the Chinese copy paste.
The
God.
Chinese one, the Chinese ones, and then the Black Book one. Like it's just constant copy and paste, and like these ships just lack any personality, and they are just like quickly forgotten. And we want something fresh and new that's just not another reskin. Like as an Australian myself, there are countless ships that I could think that could be added. Anzac, Canberra, to Adelaide, to Brook, or even the ships that are Scrap Iron to Fatilla. The potential is there, but instead we just keep seeing these more generic and often black ships with
Yeah.
each update. And I mean, aside from the collectors, no one really cares about these repetitive designs. And offering us players unique ships would not only generate more interest, but also increase the likelihood that players actually purchase them. And although, okay, this is my opinion, I'm fine with not everyone agreeing to this, but I understand that people want more historical accuracy in games like this, but I would personally prefer new, unique paper ships.
Well, I could say right now, to the people out there, sorry, I agree. This is not a realistic game. I made this argument before. We don't have crews, and as somebody who serves on a ship, trust me, a crew is everything that makes a warship. So when you don't have a realistic game, it's more fun, arcadey action game. It's totally fine that Wargaming make paper ships, in my opinion. So yeah, I think you're right that the problem is they keep churning out these ships that we already have. That's one thing. It's repetitive. The second thing is, this is my opinion, I wish that all this time and energy that overall in World of Warships, not just Blitz, because they come from PC, right, is instead of spending time and effort on making copy paste stuff, why haven't you evolved the game into modern warships? Go, get the historical warships of the Cold War. My idea, my point is they haven't innovated anything. They have not done any innovation at all. They've just copy pasted the last few years.
The game is still the same as it was back in 2017.
Yeah.
It's you just
Look at
just
War
with
Thunder.
new ships.
Look at War Thunder. It's like you got fucking, what is it, the Nighthawk F117? They've gone from biplanes, the same era as World of Warships and World of Tanks to now being into the modern age. You might not be into that, but it's just the innovation is nice.
Yeah. And even in War Thunder Naval, they actually have like corvettes and frigates.
Yeah, I've seen
as
that.
part of like the Blue Water fleets.
It looks so
So
cool, bro.
they actually are going into the modern era.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and if people want to play a very a realistic warship game, you should go and play War
It's
Thunder
good. I love it.
uh, Mobile or War Thunder Naval because that is realistic. That is the realistic version of World of Warships.
Yeah, it's the
I mean, you've got
closest.
a battle crew, modules, like, and there's no
You
every ship is
you
historical.
could shoot your own AA guns, and if you have a dual use main turret, you can shoot them into the sky. So you can use AA yourself. It's very nice.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next thing.
All right, all right.
Bots, which are probably in their worst state yet at the moment.
I hate
I mean,
bots.
since the latest update, they've actually become even. I've noticed that they've become even more erratic, turning more
Yeah.
frequently and displaying. They've also displaying bug names, and actually I meant to make a bug report about that. I don't know if you've seen that, but basically they have their names are like ship underscore zero
Oh yeah,
zero
yeah,
zero
yeah.
something
I've seen
underscore.
that.
Yeah, I had to make a bug report for that.
I mean, that's been in the game
Like,
for quite some time, but I've noticed every time tell people about a new bug I've discovered, they say, "Oh, that's been in the game for a long time." It's like all of these different bugs, man. You know what?
yeah,
I will say something. You're right. I don't know which update it was, 7.3 or 4, but one of those made the bots more insane. You're right. They turn it's even worse now. You can't shoot torps. You can't play battleship. Basically, the only thing that works is something that has a fast reload for hitting ships.
and I mean, you highlighting the point about people saying updates have been in the game actually highlights something else that I didn't write down on my notes, but we can talk about is just the inconsistency between different devices.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because actually, with the login bug, even though they fixed the login bug, I know because I play on an iPad Mini. I know multiple people that also play on iPad Mini, and our game is now crashing every 2 to 3 games,
Bro, I
which
haven't
is
played
just
on my
horrible.
iPad Mini in like 1 year, and I told Valk about it, and he said there's nothing we can do. I'm sorry, bro. iPad Minis, we rip iPad Mini players. I used to play on iPad Mini too, bro. It's a great device, great size.
It's um. Anyway, back onto the bots.
Yeah, sorry.
Something else that not many people bring up also is bot carriers, which are
Oh
just
my
such
god,
a
yeah.
massive liability in game, and they often get chased down and tipping the match in the favor of one team. Like they can tip one game in your favor or not. Like I've had multiple times where I've been winning a game
Hmm.
just for an enemy to go and kill my bot carrier at the last second and lose.
It's
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah, you go.
It's just like my problem is why do they put them in the freaking game if there's no CV queuing up? You know, it's just why are they even
Yeah,
in there? Bots in general just they ruin the competitiveness of the game. There's no reason to like there's so many good players in Blitz, and you look at the Rage team for example or UKCRF. Tons of players out there are really good at this game, but the bots don't care how good you are. You can be the best sniper, you have the best aim, best awareness. They're still going to be able to have better awareness than you, and that's something that pisses me off. You know this thing where you see
what's
a battleship coming down, enemy Yamato coming down towards you, and it's the beginning of the game. You're a battleship. You fire your salvo. He turns the second.
and then he turns
Yeah.
right slightly, and then you're yep.
So something
I think that's happened to everyone.
right, and something you then do after multiple years of playing this game is you instinctively just
You predict. You
you
predict. You can start to
yeah.
predict.
And of course that's okay. Wargaming is like nice. They've played the game for so long that they could do that, so we don't have to fix anything. That's like an idea I have in my head. They should just fix that shit. Just make it go in a straight line, a predictable trajectory where they don't do crazy turns. If they are going to be in the game, just make him player friendly. Like, god damn it, make him punching bags.
I mean, probably the next biggest problem with bots is also their ability to see you through smoke.
Oh my god.
Like the
Yeah.
amount of times I've died to that,
Dude.
like it's just and not only that, but their behavior is just wildly inconsistent.
Yeah.
One might camp and spawn doing nothing, while the other might suicide down the middle or dodge every shell perfectly. The only positive change in bots since the game launch has been the limiting of the number of destroyed DDs, which prevents us from facing endless bot DD games. Um, And honestly, I've got a solution to fix bots, the whole box problem. If even if they don't want to fix the bots, there should be an option to toggle bot participation in random battles.
Hell yeah, man. I've been saying this
Because
for years.
because
Yeah.
because if a lot of us players, like, I don't care if I have to wait like 5 minutes. I can just sit and watch YouTube on like a second device, right? I don't have to care if I have to wait 5 minutes for a match. But I would prefer a full real player match. Even if I, like, obviously when you're playing bots, you're obviously going to have a much better game. But I would prefer to play real players because that's where the engagement's at. And like we have co-op battle for bots, so why do we have them so much in randoms? Yeah.
I totally agree that that should have been the solution for many years now, and I've said this to the developers, or sorry, well, not the developers, but the community manager, and I hope they put it to the developers that they should put that in, because yeah, the serious players that have played this game for years, they will gladly wait in a queue for a good matchmaker, fun match with action against players, and they have yet to do that. It's insane to me how they maybe it's hard to implement. I don't know, but it seems to me that that would be a great fix for the bot problem, because some people enjoy them and let them have it, but why should we suffer? The rest of us, the guys that play this game because they just love warships and love fighting with big guns and torpedoes.
And while we're on that, we can also talk about the bot matchmaking, which is terrible as
It's
well. But
awful.
also with the matchmaking, it's just so there needs to be more prerequisites in the matchmaking, because you can play 6 premium ships and only have one on your team. You can first 6 tier 10s and only have one on your side, and like the bot's not matching the tiers or classes. And often that all this in total often allows you to predict the outcome of a battle before the match even begins.
I mean, the matchmaker is totally random if you ask me, because you see what you're talking about with the premiums. I saw on Reddit the other day some guy who said, "Finally, my first full premium team," and he was to be lucky to be on the team with all the premiums. But you just look on the other side and you're like, you don't
It's
look
like one premium. And
well, they don't even look like experienced players. Like the whole way that's set up with the yellow text and your fleet and all the logo shit, they look like menacing, not friendly, welcome to our game players. Like there's, as a new player, man, if you see that, I would be out. Fuck that. It's not fun at all. All these players that have paid for ships, and I'm just sitting here in my my little emerald black swans. No thanks.
and I talked about it briefly earlier, but and you've mentioned it before in when you made your own video on it. But me personally, I've had to deal with the customer support on 2 situations, and both experience was downright terrible.
Oh yeah.
I'll just go through mine first
Let's hear
before
it. Let's hear it.
I'll
Yeah,
give
yeah,
you a
yeah.
chance. So the first time was when I won a Fenyang in one of those. Remember those Blitz giveaways that they had on videos when they used to release a ship, and you
Yeah.
had to like type how much enemies was sunk or identify certain ships.
Mhm.
And I was in grade 9 at the time, and I was super excited to. I mean, that was like, I think that was probably at that time that was like my second tier 8, to be honest.
Mhm.
Um, but after a month, I actually still had not got my Fenyang, and so I reached out to customer support. It took them 3 months before they even responded, let alone solving the issue.
My God, wargaming.
The second time was when I had to reinstall the game because I login bug. I couldn't log in,
Mhm.
and I have multiple Google accounts. Like, well, I have a same Google account that's I'm a dumbass that's linked to 2 different my NA account and my Asia account. I don't even know how that's possible, but
Yeah, what the hell?
anyway, and I could not remember, like, I couldn't remember like what was linked to what.
Hmm.
And so I reached out to customer support again, and this time they never responded.
Of course.
I had to figure it out myself with trial and error. And I mean, they still haven't responded to this day. Like, how is
Really,
this
they never responded?
acceptable service for a company? No, they still haven't responded. That was like a year ago now. Like, how is this acceptable for a company this size to have such poor customer service?
I've asked myself that question many times. Yeah, that's why I made the video, because I had the exact same experience as you did. They did answer me, but it was they could have just as well not answered me, because it was just an automated bot that gave me some scripted email back.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen those.
it's
Yeah,
stupid, but I'm lucky because I'm a CC, so I of course I went the route that any other bloke would do, right, to customer support, just like you did. And I've done that before I was a CC and YouTube and everything. So I've also tried before that. But I thought, I'm gonna do it the way I should, and not write to Valk, because we can do that, and I have done that before. So I write to the customer service, and I get nothing back like everybody else does. And I try to go back and forth with them, and after some time, I just realized, okay, I think I have to tell this to Valk, because like what the fuck am I doing as a CC if I'm not saying how shit my experience was? So I said to him, dude, I'm gonna make this video about this because this is bad. And I don't know what they've done with the information and if they've looked into it, but I know at least that some higher ups of Wargaming took a look at it, because they did come back to me and said, we're sorry about this experience. And I just said, don't fucking be sorry to me. Like, think about the community, dude. They're like, come on, it's. I don't know. I might lose my CC status because I'm talking so much shit about them. But dude, I can't help myself.
and also with the with the with this as well, you mentioned the back and forth. It's like pulling teeth with the support.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you have to say the exact same thing repeated 5 or 6 times before it finally sinks in. And I think that's because they have like an automatic bot reply, and it's just they don't like, and it's so hard just to get through what you actually are asking for.
It's
Like,
insane how, like you say, a big company like Wargaming can have such bad customer service. Again, bad communication. It just leads to sourness between us and Wargaming, the community and Wargaming. And now, when they really, really need the community's loyalty the most, because they fucked up so much because of their lack of communication and like transparency, nobody trusts them at all. So maybe in a different dimension, this commander update, we could have been in a place where we're like, okay, it's probably gonna take 6 months for Wargaming, but we're gonna get some good events and whatever in the meantime, where we can get some premium ships, and then they'll fix the commander stuff. But nobody knows they actually will, and we know we're just gonna get more shitty events. So, like, what's the point?
all right, and the last thing we're talking about is that I'm going to briefly tag on the end of this video about Asia community toxicity.
Let's hear it,
And
man.
so Asia has probably been this both a source of much support and also major frustration. I mean, while many players actually genuinely want to help you improve, there's a darker side, especially in the Asia region, where some people seem more focused on seeing others fail than fostering growth. And let me be clear, Asia community is, without a doubt, the most toxic environment I think I've ever experienced, ever. Not even in gaming, just ever. Just downright. There's a small group that basically controls every single server, records, ROTW, you name it. These individuals act like bullies, and when new players ask for advice, they're met with trolling instead of real help. It feels like an exclusive club where challenging them is met with hostility, and those who truly want to help are often ignored or silenced. I mean, after posting my ROTW video, I received countless private messages from people thanking me for speaking out, too afraid to voice their concerns publicly for fear of being targeted. I too have been caught up in their toxic games before, dragged into arguments for their own entertainment, and everyone does this. It's really easy to happen, and the people are too afraid to speak up because these people are ones that will hold grudges and they will target you. Like, I'm putting a massive target on my back with both this talking about it now and my RotW videos.
Mm.
I mean, even a year ago, like, I was more argumentative, like I am now, like much like they are now. And obviously, I'm still working on stuff. We all are. No one's perfect. And even a couple of months ago, I had a major fuck up. And I apologized and will learn from that mistake. But these individuals hide behind their screens, never growing, never changing, even after being called out multiple times. I mean, after my first Rock W video, one of them told me to kill myself. After my second video, they did it again, and I've since blocked them. Like, some of these toxic individuals are even community contributors, and
Hmm.
one in particular has in the past attacked my nationality. And when I've defended myself, they have used their influence to then again delete messages and making me out as the villain. Now, I won't mention by name, but there's one CC who is probably one of the most vile individuals I think I've ever encountered. He talks down to people like, and he is absolutely obsessed with power. He's an admin in basically every server, and in records, he single-handedly caused the loss of three-quarters of the managers by attacking them, only to leave shortly after himself. Now, instead of appointing someone else, he is taking control of it himself. His behavior is just downright repulsive, and he never contributes anything constructive to any situation. I mean, after I posted my first RotW video, instead of addressing the concerns or even engaging maturely, he continued his usual pattern of childish behavior. He made crude jokes and stirred up conflict, preventing any kind of productive conversation. This person is someone who cannot act like an adult. He's repeatedly shown that he doesn't care and will never change, always coming up with excuses for his actions or deleting messages instead of owning up to his behavior. He is a bully who does whatever the fuck he wants, and until he shows some maturity, he should be stripped of all his roles. And and I get like when they're like trolling and having fun. Like I get if they're doing it between friends. I mean, everyone does acts like toxic in a fun way between friends. But when we're trying to actually solve a situation or trying to progress in a situation, it's just not needed, especially from someone that's in such a higher role as that of a CC. And even I can even pull up something lately that's happened. His team, along with having another CC in his team, also because with RotW you have to have like a profile like thing, and it was actually one attacking another. Well, one it was depicting one country attacking another country, and the team from that country has since pulled out. And they are not joining back, and like they're single-handedly killing RotW Asia. We're down to 4 teams this year, and there was even 13, like not even that long ago, they were even considering cancelling this year's RotW because of it. And I mean, they still even have registrations as we're recording this open, even with 13 hours before the tournament. Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
that's a lot, but I I can recognize a lot of what you're saying about these people, this person. Let me just say, in terms of the toxicity and the elitist environment in Asia, I have experienced it a little bit, and it was especially when I was coming up as a YouTuber. You know, I had a lot of bravado when I started. I will admit that, but I am good at this game, and I make videos that people learn a lot from. And there was a lot of these CCs that did not like me because I knew something about the game. You know, it's like that they feel like they're the only persons or people that know anything about Blitz, and therefore their word is law. And there've been many times where I've said something about a ship that didn't align with their beliefs and just gotten shit for it. So I've always been very open on my streams, for example, about a certain fleet of Asia players that I would call it downright degenerates. I had to ban one of them from my stream. They're out there promoting their fleet because they think they're so good, and that's my biggest issue with this crowd of players, because it's definitely not all of Asia. I know a lot of great people from the Asia community and server.
yeah, there's so many
It's
if
just
you're
sad that
if
they
you
have
like if
such a grip, right?
you've just with this you've just got to find your people. Like I mean, with my W videos and talking about it now, I'm trying just to create any sort of change because the one of the I'm barely playing the game anymore. Like I'm playing the game like once a month now. Like 50% of that is the game, 50% of that is I just can't deal with this community anymore because it like you know how like most servers they have like a show off, like you have a good game and you want to show off because you're proud of yourself. But whenever I try and show a screenshot, they're like, oh, you're showing off, like you're not being humble at all.
It's so
Like I'm
weird
just
because the contrast, bro. Like NA and EU, sure, there's a lot of shit talk, but compared to Asia, man, it's just not as bad. And that's I've always said
Asia's
that
another
to
level.
I've always said to people when they talk, say Asia's so good. I'm like, well, why are you playing on NA then? Like, why if you're so happy about your server Asia, why are you playing here? There is a core issue, and I've always joked about it. So the way I think I deal with it, at least, or and I think if somebody's out there who's got this same frustration, right? Honestly, just
Oh,
just
there's so many people out
just
here.
say fuck him, man. Fuck
Look,
him. Just play the game
look,
like you want to. Play your Atlantic
this
code.
this is this,
Play your
this
fucking
is
stuff.
the last. Yeah, this is just the last time I'm gonna talk about Asia because honestly, I am 95% sure after this that and after well, I mean it's shown after what W video is, nothing has changed. Like, even Rod W, even after me pointing out, like, basically saying, guys, you've just got to be more organized. If you want help, so many people are willing to help you out.
Mhm.
Like, with the situation I was actually even, like, that happened the other day with that profile, they had to bring it, like, couple people that were in the fleet obviously can't solve the situation. That's understandable. But there's 10 billion other Asia admins, and
Mhm.
yet they had to bring in an NA admin to sort out the problem. And the same NA admin through the entire RotW saga has literally been the only one keeping everything stable. And I have mad respect for him because he basically has been telling people to pull their head in. Like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
that's like I said. I've just distanced myself from that part of the Asia community because it's just not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. I mean,
yeah. Look,
posting
I
screenshots
tried.
about performance in a game should be something where you say, hey, that's pretty good, and instead of bashing people for, oh, how did you not get 200K, you know.
Look, I'm glad that I'm never talking about it again. But I tried, and look, I found the people that I gel with in this community, and especially a lot of people on Asia which I gel with. And yeah, I'm just gonna completely ignore all these people. Most of these people that have been causing all this trouble, I've just now blocked, and I've just shoved them to the side. I don't want to deal anything with them
it,
anymore.
if those types of guys are listening, just chill. It's a fucking video game, man, and it's a dying video game, so let's enjoy it while it lasts, and let's not be elitist snobs. I mean, even me, I'm not the best player. I'm a shit player, and I love being shit because I'm having fun.
Your shit, I'm fucking garbage.
Dude, we're all garbage at the game because it's a garbage game. You can't be good at something that's already trash.
Yeah, just they've just got to respect that some of us like despite that I have like a YouTube channel and everything, and that this, even though I'm not playing anymore, this I'd still consider this my main game. I'm still a casual. Like I don't play a game to get this max damage, like absolutely meta out of shit. I play the game to have fun. I
Same.
play it to enjoy my time. And I mean, as we go into like, I mean, a conclusion here, like I, as I've said, I haven't been playing this game much at all, and I have not even spent $1 in the game since I bought Vampire this time last year. They hype up new ships in non-guaranteed crates. Bots are broken since launch. Balancing is all over the shop, and matchmaking is consistently unbalanced. And like, I get it. They're a company. Wargaming's a company. You need to make money. But if you actually took feedback seriously and made changes to the game that we're asking for, which often aren't that hard to implement, we'd play your game more and spend more money on it.
Damn right. Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that I had you here for this, Bob, and
It was a
hopefully
pleasure.
this, wherever it is, hindsight's some change.
I mean, let's hope that the right people see this, and yeah, we definitely need some change. I would love to play more Blitz. It's a great game sometimes. All
And
right,
it has so much potential.
it
All
does,
right.
it does.
Well,
I mean, let's hope that the right people see this, and that, yeah, we definitely need some change. I would love to play more Blitz. It's a great game sometimes.
Yeah, totally. Well, thanks for your time today, Bob. I really appreciate it.
Sorry for having it take so long, my man. And it's even harder nowadays. So it's good we got it done because I'm just gonna be on and off all the time.
Well, I'm glad that I could have you on, Bob, today.
All right, see ya, bro. Thank you so much. Have a great day, my dude.
Yeah, you too, dude.
All right, see ya.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in if you're still here at the end. I'll see you guys in the next one. JT15 out.